All right, so we are now on our class number 10, or part 2 of today's class, which is Zipform Templates. So thanks you guys for sticking with me, and we're going to talk about that. So this part is a really good skill for you guys to learn. It's a time saver for you to build out some templates so that you have stuff ready to go each time as you're learning and practicing and that sort of thing. So I'm going to help you with that skill today. There's a couple of things that you have to have already done to fully be able to participate. But the coolest part of this is I actually have a cheat sheet for you, which I'm going to drop into the chat right now. It's my Zipform Templates cheat sheet. And I know Linda and Christina at least have gotten it from me, and it's good, right? Christina, yes. Linda, it's good.
I got it too.
Oh, really you did, Denise? Yes. Okay.
Yeah, from the last. Yeah.
Good. Oh, okay, cool. So let me find it. I got to get to the right section here, and I will drop it in for you. Here we go.
Has it changed from the last time you had it?
Well, remind me how long ago that was.
Well, I listened to the recording.
Oh, I can't remember when I did it last. I think it was last fall. I have the PED stuff in there, so it's there, so you can grab it again, Denise. I just put it in the chat. Okay.
Yeah, this has PED on it.
Okay, so it's probably pretty similar. Okay. I don't think I've had any updates for 2021 on this one. Okay. So the reason why this is really helpful is because you're going to be writing a lot of offers, listing offers, buyer offers, and it's helpful to have some templates in place so that you don't have to recreate the wheel every single time. Okay. So I've put my little cheat sheet in there for you. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and share it on the screen here really quick. And we're going to look at it together. And then I'm going to walk you through how to create it. So this is what I just put in the chat for everybody. It's 2 pages. And basically, these are the required documents that you need for listing and purchase file. And that says August 2020. So I don't think there's really been any updates since then. And then I'm going to teach you how to create it. And then I'm going to talk to you a little bit about practicing writing offers. Okay. So these are the basic forms that you need for your listing. And these are the basic forms over here that you need for a purchase. Every single transaction can be different. So there can be individual forms that are needed per transaction. These are the basic ones that are needed for every transaction that you would then give to your transaction coordinator to start a file. You're going to see here that I have an asterisk that says forms required to begin a file with your transaction coordinator. So I have some of these asterisks out for you already, and then there's some other ones. So for example, in my listing template, I have key safe lockbox addendum and tenant permission to access property form, which is called the KLA. Because I put that there so I don't forget that if there's actually a tenant in that property, I need that form filled out. If you don't have a tenant in that property, you're not going to need that form. The AVID, the agent visual inspection disclosure, is not done right at the signing of the listing, but it needs to be done very shortly after. So I have that one in the form. And then modification of terms, MT form, is a form that you use, a very simple 1-page form anytime a term is modified. Blah. Price reduced, there's some other terms that can be changed. And those aren't necessarily needed right at the beginning, but they're really good to have here so that you remember them. And then on the buyer side, again, your AVID is done after you get in contract. So not right away. Request for repairs is after you're in contract. Contingency removal can be during the offer or once you get into contract. And then increased deposit, if there is an increase, you need that form. So there's some other forms here. Verification of property is the final walkthrough. That's at the end. And then of course, we've got all of our coronavirus forms that were added last year. And maybe one of these days those will go away, but right now they are a part of our world. Okay, so how do I create these forms? What do I do? So that's where we go into these different parts. All of these forms are located in the CAR, the California Association of Realtors library. And you have to be registered with car.org to do this with me. So if you have not yet registered with car.org, You just have to follow along today. And that's why you have this cheat sheet so that you can watch this recording later and come back to this video. And Denise, you already watched it and it was really helpful, right? Last time, you're muted.
I built my templates. Yeah, it took a while, but of course I have a few questions. So when you get to those points, I'll ask.
Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and take you through there. So for those who are brand new, you can't even register with car.org until you've done your appointment with your Association of Realtors. So the first thing you do is join an office. Then very quickly, you're making your appointment with the Association of Realtors, and you then join and become a Realtor, which means you're then a member of the California Association of Realtors, which means you then have access to the CAR website. So you're going to start by your Association of Realtor appointment, joining, becoming a Realtor, and then you have access to this. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to sharing my screen. And I'm going to show you guys what the California Association of Realtor website looks like. Can you guys, let's see, I know Emma's not. Is everybody else registered with the association already?
Yes.
Julia, have you done that yet? Okay.
Yes, I did that earlier this week. So I'm up
Awesome.
and running and logged on to everything.
Okay, some of you guys I don't know, you're not from my office, so I don't know how far along you are in the process. Let me just share what this website looks like. Okay, so this is the California, you see over here on the left, it says California Association of Realtors, that's their logo. This is their website. I can sign in because I'm already registered. If you're not registered, you're going to start with this over here on the right, the sign in process, and it says new to car.org, you need to register. Does it say sign in right here for everybody? I need to make sure my screen moved. Okay. And
yes.
So then you're going to sign. If you haven't registered, you have to do that part first. Once you're registered, then you're going to do your sign in. My last name used to be Fernandez and I haven't fully changed all that. So you'll see Fernandez sometimes with me. It's me, just with a different name. So I've now signed in. So it says, hello, Laura Gleason. Oh, there's a Gleason. So it's hi, Laura Gleason up here, sort of part of my name. And is it showing the guy in the blue chair? Okay. Over here, you're going to say access in this circle, access realtor secure transaction. You're going to see access transactions. So I'm going to click on that. And this then takes us to a second authentication, which we need to log in. So here it says access Zipforms. Denise, is that showing for everybody? Okay, so now I'm going to click access Zipforms. It's going to take me to a two-part authentication. Does it save? You see this continue to transactions? Okay, yes. So then you got to click on it one more time. And this is where I'm probably going to lose you guys and I'm going to have to reshare. So I have to find out. It's loading for me right now and it's going to the Zipforms library. Did it go to the Zipforms library for you guys?
It just says, thank you for using Lone Wolf transactions.
So let me reshare. Thank you for that help. And now you're inside of the transaction content. Okay. Yes. And you're going to see there's a couple of, you're going to see that I have all these files down here. I've been in real estate for a long time. I've been in Zipform since it was created. So I actually, and I don't ever delete my files. So I have a lot of files. So don't be panicked if you don't have that many files because you guys are new and you haven't been in here as long. I also like to look at them big like this, but you can look at them this way too. Hold on. It shows them like just as a smaller thing there. And I like to look at them big. So I have the big one. So this is what's going to show up under transactions. You're going to see there's a dashboard, there's forms, and there's transactions, and there's templates. We're going to build templates today that can then be pulled into a transaction. Okay. Now, in order for us to do this, I also need to pull up a property real quick. There's a couple of tricks that I want to make sure you guys know. So I got to stop sharing. I got to go over to the MLS. You also have to have your MLS set up. And I'm just going to grab a property from my office really quick that's active. Okay. Oh, great. This one's Brent. We're going to grab this one. It's been on the market for 2 days. Mike Mendenhall has a listing that I'm going to use. So just so I have a property that I can use. Okay, so back to this. So what we're going to do is we're going to create from that cheat sheet, we're going to create a buyer template and a listing template. Okay. So the first thing I want to do is I want to go into templates. Now, I just want to make sure you guys understand this, like your brain works. I had a hard time understanding this at first. Don't ever create a transaction inside of templates. Just create the templates there and you can pull those templates into a transaction. If you create a new transaction every single time in templates, it's going to screw everything up. The templates are meant to be a template that you can pull into a transaction so that you don't have as much work to do in a transaction. Okay. And so let me go to templates. Did it switch over to my templates here? Does it say gateway seller
Yes.
template? Okay.
Yes.
So what I have, remember, I'm an agent in Santa Cruz and I'm a team leader and I do a lot of trainings in Gateway. So I have some Santa Cruz stuff in here as well. I also have templates for short sale and REO properties because I've been a realtor that long. And there's different paperwork involved with those types of transactions. And so I created templates that have that different paperwork in them. For today, I'm just going to be working with you on the seller template and the buyer template. So what you're going to do in terms of creating, and you look right at the cheat sheet, if you look at instructions for creating a template, number one, you go to car.org and you register. Then you click on access transactions to get to Zipforms, which we did. And you put your username and password in, which we already did. Then you click on the templates tab, which we've now done. And then number 5 says, click the new or the plus sign to create a new template. Okay, so you click here and we're going to create a listing template. And I'm going to call this listing template, listing practice template, because it's not my real one.
I have a quick question.
Mm-hmm.
When I made I think it was listing template, I forgot to put in seller.
Oh, that's just what that's okay.
But how would I correct that?
I don't know.
Couldn't figure
I'm not
out how to
sure if
correct
you
it.
can.
Yeah,
And
it looks like I can't.
It doesn't, it's just me being redundant. I put both the word seller and listing in there because it's really hard for me to get them mixed up that way, but you don't have to have it in there. Just as long as you have listing in there. You can call it whatever name you want to call it. Just make sure one's called listing and one is called buyer. Okay.
Okay.
And so I'm calling this one listing practice template. You can call it listing seller template. You can call it listing template for Santa Cruz, for San Jose, whatever you want to call it, for Gateway, for Campbell. So listing practice template is what I'm going to call it today. It's residential. And you want to make sure, do not automatically apply this template to new transactions. Don't do that. You want to do it every single time separately. Okay, and there's a drop down here, select templates. Well, I'm not going to select a template because I'm actually creating one. So just this, it's residential and do not automatically apply. Then I'm going to click save and it's going to open the template for me. And over here on the right are all the forms that I can put in that template. So if I click on the blue forms, the forms library comes up. Can you guys see the forms library from A to Z?
Yeah.
Okay. And then if you look on the cheat sheet, the first thing you're going to put in there, there's a dot in front of it, so it shows up first, is your cover sheet. So I'm going to click on cover sheet. And now if you can kind of see it, the cover sheet is now in my template. Then because this is my listing template, I'm going to click on residential listing agreement and I'm going to add that. It's in here in my template. And then the next one is market conditions advisory. Now I can go down all the way to the M's and find it. So where's LM? Market conditions advisory. I'm going to click on that and that's in there. Or if you don't want to scroll through, you can type the name in. So the next one is seller instructions to exclude from the MLS. It's SELM. So let me try SELM. And there it is, seller instructions to exclude from the MLS. So I click on that. I've now added that one to my template. Do you guys see how that's working?
Yeah.
So I'm recommending that you put all those forms that I suggested in your cheat sheet into that template. Okay, all the way from cover sheet, all the way down to the trust advisory form. Those are the ones I'm recommending. And that's how you're going to create your seller template. Okay. Everybody following me? Anybody have any questions? Because I'm going to stop on this part.
No.
All right. If I click off of there now, it's darker because if I click on the library, that becomes lighter. And then if I click out of the library, which you can just click in the middle space here and your other thing like brightens up again. So then on the next part that you're going to do, let's see here. We've got this created. Pretend I did all the documents. And the next thing we would do is the same thing then for, is there a save on here? I don't think you even have to click save anymore. I think it's just all set. So now I'm going to go back to the templates. And there it is, the first one, listing practice template. Okay. So we're going to do the same thing for the buyer. I'm going to start with the plus sign. It's now a purchase because the buyer is not a listing, it's a purchase. So I'm clicking on this one. I'm going to click buyer practice template is what I'm making it. And it's residential again. And I don't want to automatically apply, and I'm not selecting a template because I'm creating one. So then I'm going to click save. And then again, you're going to go back over here to the library and you're going to have all the documents. So you're going to start with a cover sheet. Then you're going to add the purchase agreement. They have those on top on purpose because they're the most used forms. So they put these three on top with a dot so they show up on top. So cover sheet, listing agreement, and purchase agreement are the most used forms. So I'm going to click purchase agreement. Then you're going to go down your cheat sheet and you're going to add AVID. So I'm going to type in AVID and look, oh my gosh, there's 4 of them. Why do you think there's 4 AVIDs?
Does it pertain to certain types of properties? Or
yeah, 4 units. So we sell in
okay.
residential purchase agreements is purchasing a property up to 4 units, 1 to 4 units. So they've actually given you 4 different AVIDs. Do you just want one of them? You can, and then when you're creating your AVID, you can, if you're selling 4 units, you need to fill out 4 different ones. And so you could do a different one. But for most of what we're doing, you're just going to grab the first one. It doesn't, just grab number 1. That the only reason why there's 4 is because it's 1 to 4 properties. So I'll click on AVID and then that shows up, and then request for repairs. If I type in RR here, it's not going to show up. Oh, it did. Huh. Okay, liar out of me. Request for repairs. Again, you could have different requests. So they have a lot for you. So you just put number 1 and that will show up. So you're going to go down the list and you're going to add those to your purchase template. Okay. And then so now what I've got is I've got both a listing template and a purchase template. My next job is to fill out some information on the cover sheet. If I fill out my information on the cover sheet, I never have to fill it out again. I'm going to tell you guys, until I learned how to do this about 10 years ago, I was doing this every time for every single offer. And then I had a transaction coordinator teach me how to do this and create a cover sheet so that I never had to fill this information out again. It's a big time saver. So I'm going to click on cover sheet here. And the cover sheet is 4 pages long. Okay. So page 1 is specific to a property. You're never going to fill this out in a cover sheet because the buyer's different every time and the seller is different every time. So there would not be template information that's the same for every single template. Remember, buyers and sellers are different. So there's nothing on page 1 that you're filling out. Page 2, the property is different every single time. So there's not really any property information that you would fill out on your template. Okay. Escrow, though, at the bottom for listings, if you have a certain escrow officer that you use all the time, you may fill that info out. Now, this is my buyer template. So this would probably your escrow is going to be different every single time. So you're not going to fill that out. But on page 3, you have buyer's broker information and seller's broker information. Remember, this is my buyer template. So this information I'm going to fill out. Buyer's broker's firm's name, Keller Williams. Check this out. Do you guys see where there's things coming up? As soon as you start typing things in, the library remembers it. And so they show up for you later on. So I'm going to go ahead and say Keller Williams San Jose Gateway, and then it shows up for me. So that's the buyer broker's name. And then you want that property address. On page 2 of my cheat sheet, I have the address information for San Jose Gateway. You guys will have to get your information for your for Santa Cruz and for Campbell, Silicon Valley, if you're joining me from those 2 offices. Okay, they have different addresses. So Santa Cruz's is 1414 SoCal Avenue. So you're going to put the address of your brokerage in, and the direct phone number, and then you're going to see about halfway down is where you start putting your information in. So Laura Gleason. You're also going to be putting in your brokerage's license number up here, which for Gateway is, this one I think is the Santa Cruz one. You guys got to find out from your team leader or somebody at your office what your DRE license number is for your brokerage. Mike Sibilia has 3 different brokerage numbers, one for Santa Cruz, one for Gateway, and one for Silicon Valley, and they're different. Okay. For Gateway, it's 01484292. 01484292. If you're a Gateway agent, that's what ours is. And then this one right here is yours. So you're going to put your own in there. And then you're going to put your phone number. It asks for agent's phone number. Don't worry about fax number anymore. And then cell phone number and email address. I put my phone number in twice because sometimes the lenders, they don't like anything to be blank. And so I just put my cell phone number in there twice. And then your email address. So fill that out with all your info. And then you've got that filled out, and it will show up now. It'll auto populate on every single offer that you write from here on out. Okay. So you have to hit save. So up here on the left, I'm going to hit save. And now I'm going to go back, hit the back button. And I'm just going to go back into my templates library. You're going to do the exact same thing for your listing template. You're going to go in here to the cover sheet. And again, on page 3, you're now going to fill out the seller broker information section because you're the listing agent or the seller's agent on this one. So on your buyer template, it's the buyer information. And on the seller template, it's the seller information. And then so Keller Williams, San Jose, it should say Gateway on there. And then you're going to fill out all the information there, and you're going to hit save again. Okay. So now let me go back and show you what it looks like totally filled out. So these were my practice ones. So I'm just going to go into the Gateway one, and I'm going to show you the cover sheet totally filled out. So here's what it looks like on the seller side. Keller Williams San Jose Gateway, and the information. It's all mine. Don't put my information. You want to put your own information in there and the license number. I apologize, you guys. I should have had the Santa Cruz and the Campbell one numbers beforehand, and I forgot to do it. So you got to find that out. That's your homework. So this one is for my listing one. And then for my buyer one on the cover sheet, you're going to see it's in the buyer section. Okay. Does that make sense for everybody?
Yes.
Okay, now, what time is it? How am I doing on time? Oh, halfway there. Great. Now let's talk about how you pull a template into a transaction. So this is where the fun begins. So I'm going to go back over here to transactions, and we're going to create a new transaction. Okay, it's the same way. There's a plus sign that says new. So I'm going to click on new. And I'm going to write an offer. So on Mike Mendenhall's listing. So I'm creating a new purchase offer. So I'm clicking on that. And this is where you're going to go back and forth. Actually, let me go to the MLS really quick and show you that part. Okay, so what I've done on the multiple listing service is I pulled up a listing from my office. And this is Mike Mendenhall's new listing. It just went on the market 2 days ago. Mike Mendenhall is the listing agent. Here's the address, and we're going to go ahead and write an offer on that property. Okay, so you do kind of have to go back and forth. You got to have both windows open so that you can grab some information. So I'm first just going to grab the name of the address, that property. And I'm just going to copy that. And I'm going to go back over here to my template. Or sorry, not my template, my transaction. Here we go. I lost it for a second. Okay, let me share this with you guys. I'm back over in here. And I'm going to create a new one. So new purchase. And this is how I always title mine. I put the address in and the name of my buyer. They're like their last name. Okay. So the address of the property and the buyer's name, it's just easier to find everything that way. So that's the first thing I did. And then it's a residential purchase. And I'm going to pull my buyer template into it. So did you guys see that? So right here, it says select template. I've already made my template. So I'm going to pull my template. I'm going to grab the gateway buyer purchase template and I'm pulling that into it. Now, there's one other super cool thing that you can do. You can use this feature called MLS Connect that will actually pull the information. Since this property is already on the MLS, it will pull the information in and load a bunch of stuff for you already. So I go here to MLS Connect, and it's the first thing it says, choose your MLS name, MLS list. Now, some of you don't have this set up yet, and I'm going to show you how to set it up. And then it says find the property. Well, it's a residential property, and I have to grab the MLS ID. So, oh darn it, I have to stop sharing real quick so I can grab the ID. Sorry. Hold on a minute. Let me move this over to this screen. Now I'll have it. Okay, I have it on a separate screen, so I don't have to go back and forth. Oh, here it is. Okay, so so I'm going to MLS Connect. Can you guys see that again? Is MLS Connect on there? Yeah, okay. And then it's asking me for the MLS ID. So the MLS ID is ML, and then it's 8 numbers. So this one's 81843389. And I'll show you where that is in just a sec. And yes, I'd like to include the property photo too. So it's ML 81843389. So I'm going to find that property and click find. And all of a sudden, look at that. It's 22 St. Mary's Court. All that information was pulled into my transaction now. So not only do I pull my template in, but I pulled the information from the MLS in. So I say, yep, this is the one, use this listing. So look at that, picture shows up and I pulled my purchase template in. Now I'm going to click save. And it's going to show up. It's taking me, actually, let me go back here to transactions. And you see it's my first one now. Okay. So it's my first transaction here. 22 St. Mary's Court with buyer's name. So I'm going to click on that to open it up. Does it say property summary right here? Okay, want to make sure you guys are with me. Well, up here, there's a bunch of stuff, but right here where it says documents, I can now click on documents, and all of those documents that I saved in my template have now pulled into the transaction. They're already there. And if I go to my cover sheet, look at that. Oh, this is oh, look, it pulled Mike's in there. So I'm the buyer's agent. It already pulled Mike Mendenhall's information in there for me. Isn't that cool? It missed state, so I'm going to put California there. And then I would also have to get Mike Mendenhall's license number, which shows up on the MLS. So I would have to add that, but it pretty much pulled that stuff information in there for me. If I go to page 1, it already put the seller's information in there. as part of, because the seller's information was on the MLS. So all I have to do now is fill in the buyer's information. So I'm going to call it Jane Doe. And I'm going to call this, it's a couple. So it's John and Jane Doe are buying this property. So I usually put their names in and I put an email address in. I don't really fill out any other information on my buyers, just their name and their email address. And the reason why I put the email address in is because that's how I'm going to email it to them to have them electronically sign everything. So you need to have an email address in there. So you put their names and then you've got your seller's name in there. So that's page 1. Page 2 pulled the property detail information in from what was on the MLS already. So that stuff is in there. The parcel number is in there. The list price is in there. There's not really anything else I need to add. And then again, you're going to want to, this already had the escrow officer that I want to use, but usually the seller has an escrow officer and that information is in the MLS. And so you're going to put the escrow officer in that the seller is already saying they're using. And then it has our information, who the buyer's agent is, who the seller's agent is. And then you have title, the escrow and the title company are the same company. So you want to write the same company name down for title. And that's pretty much all you're going to fill out on this cover sheet. And so that's filled out and I'm going to click save. And then I'm going to go back, click the back button. And that was the cover sheet. The next thing that I'm going to be working on filling out is the residential purchase agreement. So I'm going to click on this. I'm not filling it out for you guys today. That's a different class. But I just want to show you how it auto populates in. So I've opened up the purchase contract, and because I created a template, look at that. My information already shows up on every single part that's for my information. It already says Jane Doe and John Doe on it. My buyer's names showed up. As I scroll through here, look at that. The seller's name shows up. The buyer's names show up. I keep scrolling. All the agent information shows up, the seller and buyer. And then as you get to page 1 of the purchase contract, it's already auto-populating a bunch of stuff for you. That's because we created a template and we pulled the MLS information in as well. So you've already got part of your offer written for you. Now you're going to put the specifics in there for your particular offer and your particular client. Does that make sense for everybody? That's why you want to use a template, because it gets those basic things loaded into your document for you so you can then focus on the specifics of your particular offer.
That's very helpful.
Super helpful. I wish I hadn't wasted time doing it separately for so many years before someone showed me how to do it.
Yeah.
So the one thing here, so, and you guys can watch this video, you can practice. Don't practice in the game, practice before the game so that you guys are practicing writing offers so that when you're with your client, you don't freeze. Okay.
Yeah.
I mentioned to you guys that super cool tool of how to add MLS Connect to what you're doing. And I'm wondering if anybody was following along and going, well, wait a minute, MLS Connect isn't working for me. I can go back there and show it to you guys again. And then I'm going to show you how to do it.
Hey, Laura, can we connect DocuSign too?
I believe so, Linda, but I don't use DocuSign, so I'm the wrong one to ask that question for. But I know you can. I just don't know how to do it. I'll do that with you later. But yeah, you can add, because this one automatically takes you to the e-sign. I actually think it's here. I think if you go to e-sign, it gives you options of which types of forms you're using. I think you can add, you can add DocuSign. Somehow you add DocuSign into your, you and I'll have to do it later. You can add it as part of your profile that you're using DocuSign. Okay, Linda?
Sure.
If all of you guys are doing it, I'm sorry, you guys, I don't use DocuSign. I just use the e-signature platform that's here and free, and it works really well. So I've never purchased DocuSign.
Is that through Glide?
I believe Glide is a different tool.
Oh, all right. Okay.
This
Yeah.
is just the the e-signature platform that you have as part of what you're paying for with your realtor benefits through CAR. There's already an e-signature platform that you can use. And you should practice doing this too. You should practice setting up e-signatures through here and send them to yourself and practice signing so you know what it's like for your buyers. So let me go back here to dashboard. I'm going to go back here to transactions. So remember when I was creating a transaction and I was creating a purchase contract, it had this MLS Connect feature, okay? And I was able to click on here and pull the MLS ID in from the MLS. That's because I'm already set up on my MLS listings is connected to my Zipforms. If yours isn't set up yet, I'm going to show you how to do it because you're going to come here and it's not going to show. Well, you'll have to do the drop down and you'll have to make sure MLS list is what's showing up for you. If that's not showing up for you, you're not connected yet. Does that make sense to everybody? So the way you get connected, let me get out of all this, is I got to take you back to the MLS. Okay. Oops. Well, sorry about that. Okay, I know what happened. I've got it on my other screen. Let's see if it works now. Let me just make it bigger. Okay, so I'm in the MLS. Can you guys see the MLS now? MLS listings? Yeah, Denise? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm in the property that I was using for that, writing that offer. So it was 22 St. Mary's Court. It was Mike Mendenhall. I mentioned to you that you're going to need to pull his ID number in. His ID is down here at the bottom, his license number. So you would want to add that as well. So how do you connect MLS Connect to what you're doing? It's very simple. You're going to go back over here to this tab up here that says Pro. Click on Pro. And from Pro, you're going to see where it says My Info. This took us back to our dashboard. And here where it says My Info, you're going to click on that. And it's going to have this business information right here. It's got your ID number, what association you're affiliated with, what your primary office is, and it probably doesn't have this NRDS ID number filled in. You need to, your NRDS number is your National Association of Realtors number. You have to put that in there in order to be connected to that MLS Connect. And it takes I'm going to say 15 minutes. Once you put your NRDS number in there, you're going to click edit. You're going to add that number. You're going to click save. You'll then have that filled out correctly. If you don't have the NRDS ID number in there, your National Association number, don't use mine. It's not yours. You've got your own. You won't connect to MLS Connect. So this is the little missing piece. So again, it's in the My Info button on your dashboard, and you just have to make sure that that number is connected, and then you can use MLS Connect.
So you can go to the My Info through just entering MLS. It doesn't have to be from the page of the listing page, right?
Yeah, correct. Right, Elsie. I'm just back at the beginning now.
Yeah.
So I'm just back at the beginning. You go to My Info, and you should do that anyway. You ought to go in here and see what they have for you, because you can edit this information. So look at that. I haven't even done any social info. That probably is like Facebook and all that. I don't even know. But you definitely need to have that NRDS ID number in there. Okay. And that's what connects you to MLS Connect. If you don't have that, you won't get connected. It's a weird little thing, but that's it. Okay. Questions?
Just a point, if anyone's having trouble finding that NRDS number, I just had to do that. There's a lookup tool at the NAR site.
Oh, sweet. So nar.org.
Yes.
Awesome. The other thing you can do is you can call your association and you can ask them and they'll look it up for you. And I think at some point, so did you guys get this in the mail, your realtor card?
Oh, no.
Not yet.
Okay, because it's on
I
there.
have not received mine yet either.
Okay. But
I never got
again,
it.
it's on there, so you could, but call your association, because when you join your local association, you're also joining the National Association and the State Association. You're joining all three. And that's how you get your NRDS number, and it's on your card. You have a card. I know they send it because I think I just got this recently. And you get that I guess every 4 years when you renew your license, I think.
Laura, we can get that through the local association,
Get what?
the car.
Okay, so again, when you join your local association of realtors, you're also in turn joining the National Association and this, or in turn joining the State Association and the National Association. Okay, so you're joining all three. You don't have to go to Sacramento to join the State Association. You don't have to go to Washington, D.C. to join the national one. By joining your local one, you are also joining the other two. And so when you join your local one, they create a national number for you. So you can call them and they can give it to you, or like Zach said, you can look it up on nar.org. There's a lookup tool to find your number.
Oh no, I was asking about the actual car.
The card.
I have no idea. Call them
Oh,
and ask
okay.
them. I don't know.
Interesting, like what you have, but different look.
That's your state one. So I have that
Yeah,
one
that's
too.
the thing.
You have a state one. I don't know why. How come I got a car one or the national one? You guys didn't. I have both. I'm not sure, you guys.
Maybe
It
there's
says it's
some lag
supposed to
time
come-
between joining and getting it in the mail, because I joined on Monday, so I'm sure it's probably.
Yeah,
It'll
that's
take a
my
while.
understanding as
I
well.
joined a year ago and I never got it.
Yeah, me too.
Sorry, I don't know.
Oh,
You
that's
could ask.
odd.
You can ask your local association if there's maybe they're not doing the cards anymore. I think I got I've had a newer one like 2 years ago. I don't know. But you do get a number. Even if you don't get a card, you get a number. Okay. Any other questions?
No.
I guess not. We're done early. Woohoo. Was that helpful today, you guys?
It was one of the best classes, Laura.
Yes.
Yeah, I gotta
I'll
say,
see.
Extremely helpful.
yeah, I gotta
Awesome.
say, I wish I had this class actually in the beginning. I
Yes.
think that both these classes, the 9 and 10 o'clock, the day in the life.
You
and the-
did have this class in the beginning. It's been recorded. Denise watched the recording.
Yeah, and I
think-
felt so much better once I got my template set up.
Marty,
felt-
you've watched this one too. I know you have. You've been in this
Yeah.
class with me
Haven't
before.
gone- Yeah,
But
yeah.
You guys, every single one of these classes are recorded and you can go back into the library and watch them as many times as you need to. Okay.
Would guide me through the library again, Laura, please.
Oh, where the recording library is?
Yeah.
You got to ask Jesse where the
Oh,
recording.
okay. Mhm. Okay.
We're in the process. So with us, actually, I can show you this part. One little cheat thing. Our office gateway, we created our own YouTube channel. We throw all the recordings on there, but I know that Elaine in Santa Cruz is in the process of creating a 3-office YouTube channel for us. I think Jesse's working on it and we're going to be throwing stuff in there, but I'll show you our YouTube channel since we have a couple minutes. Hold on, let me get it. Okay. And you guys are welcome to go to our YouTube channel. Okay. So it's Keller Williams San Jose Gateway is our YouTube channel. Look at that. Spark Class 7 is already on there from the other day. And there's, if you go to videos, so Keller Williams San Jose Gateway, you want to subscribe to this, okay? Subscribe and then it'll show up in your subscriptions. That's the best thing to do with YouTube. And if you go to videos, there's every class we have is in here. Look at that from years. Even when we were teaching Ignite in person a long time ago, there's so many classes in here, you guys. And the Zipform templates, I think even when I did it in person is in here. And there's recordings of every one of these classes. Okay.
Mhm.
So many. And we're throwing the ones from this month in there already as well. All right.
Mhm.
So you guys are welcome to use ours. And like I said, I think we're creating a 3-office one as well. Okay,
Awesome. Thank you, Laura.
they're there. They're already there.
I just found out I'm subscribed.
Good, awesome. Any other questions that I can help with today?
I have a question, Laura.
Okay.
Actually, when I was going on MLS and I couldn't find a way to filter like senior communities or below market rate. And I went around and I found a way to do how to remove senior communities of the search. There is actually, and this might help you guys, there is actually on the search on the matrix dashboard. Once you pick everything, you will find an area that you can add on in there.
I can show you guys how to do that real quick.
Yeah, but
Hey.
so far I haven't found the one for
don't-
removing below market area.
Linda, are below market ones on the MLS or do you have to find those off the MLS? Linda? I thought she was, Linda, are you with us? Shoot, she just sold a below market one. I don't know if those show up on the MLS or not. I think they're typically below, well, they can, like in Watsonville, they can show up. I don't, honestly, the way you filter, Marty, is that they're the lowest priced ones. Usually if they're below market, they're lower priced because they're part of a city or a county program. So I can show you really quick, but again, and then we're going to go because I don't want to go down another rabbit hole with you guys, but really quick, let me just show you what Marty's talking about on the MLS. Okay, I make sure that I'm in the home screen. All right, let me go here with you guys real quick. You guys need to take MLS classes too. They have so many classes you can take. They have tons of webinars and then tons of videos too that you can watch videos. Up here where it says training, there's so many videos in there. But if I'm going to Matrix, which is our search part of the MLS, if I go to Matrix, down below here, you can add fields, add or remove fields, and you can add, what is it? Not parking. There's a thing you can add in here for 55 and older types of communities. Okay. So I think I'm not finding it right now, unfortunately, but there is a way to add 55 and older on this part. Is that what you were talking about too, Marty, is adding it in the added fields?
Yeah, I did add, and it is under restrictions.
Okay.
And that I was able to find, but I didn't find the one to remove below market rate. But like you say, I should just look out for lower prices and just delete them. It's because my client got something like that and he was overwhelmed, like, why am I getting this?
Yeah, when I create a search for a client, which you can do in here as well, I typically with my price range, I'll do a minimum and a maximum price. So for example, let's say they're 700,000 to $1 million. And that way anything under 700,000, which might be one of those low income qualifying properties, won't show up for them. Okay.
Okay.
But you can add a lot more things in here. And typically the 55 and over stuff is manufactured home. So if I go to a mobile home search, I think that's where you see where it says restrictions.
Yeah.
You can find the ones that are 55 and older, and you can add those to the search so that you're only getting those restrictions. Now, Marty, I don't know if you know this, but Adult Village is its own, what do you call it here? Let me go back to residential, its own area. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you can scroll down, it'll say Adult Village.
Yeah, I think it's 99. Let me see. Nope, it's not 99. Which one is it? Is it 109?
I don't remember the number.
Hold on. 10, is it right? You know who will know it.
Renee.
Renee will know what number it is, but it's its own number. So you can search Adult Village.
Okay.
From, it's like, it's way up there. Like maybe it's 199. Hang on. Oh, whoops, that's too many. Adult Village,
There
199.
it is. Yeah,
Okay.
199.
So you
Got
can
it.
search it that way too. It's 199 for 55 and older in Watsonville. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Well, would
thank
you still need to select the 55 and older, or would just Adult Village?
55 and older, what I was showing was manufactured home. It doesn't,
Mhm.
I don't know if you have that. Maybe you do
No,
have restrictions
no,
there.
it's their regular stick homes. Yeah.
So let me see if
I did
restrictions.
add it on restrictions. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
you can
think I
add
did, yeah.
restrictions. Which I haven't done. So there. So now I have
Okay.
restrictions added down here as well. So the way I did that, if you want to add fields, you go to add or remove, and you
Okay.
just pick the fields you want to add or remove. And so I had just picked restrictions. Probably not going to
Okay.
show up there anymore. Yeah, so you click on it and then you click add, and then it's over in your selected fields. And then you go
Okay.
back and all those added fields that I created are in here. So then, yeah, restrictions is now there. Now I can say, well, I want 55 and over. So to
Okay.
answer your question, unless you've selected 199 up here above,
Mhm.
it will not show up in your search. You have to select it.
Mm,
Okay.
oh, okay.
But
Got
it, so 199 for those of you who are searching in that area is already 55 and older anyway.
Okay. Mhm.
Okay.
Okay. I think
Beautiful.
that's,
Thank you.
is there one last question that anybody has?
Real quick, you said we had to put our NRDS number to link the MLS over to the car, or it was an R. Where I'm having trouble finding in
Car.
the MLS where to add
Okay.
where to
I
I
can do
guess
that for you.
change my
real quick.
profile.
Yep, we'll do it again. So you go back to, I just click on Pro, which gets me back to the beginning. This is the first thing you see when you go to MLS listings.
Right.
And
there.
here where it says My Info, see where it says My Info?
Yes.
Click on My Info.
Okay.
And right
then
here where it says Business Info, that's where you're going to add your
that's where
NRDS.
it is.
And you click Edit to do that.
Oh, great,
Okay.
great. Thank you.
All right. So yeah, you guys should have all this filled out anyway. Okay.
Mhm.
And then do you guys remember where it was on the other side, or do you want me to show you where it is in zip forms again?
Sure.
Okay, I'll show you.
Yeah,
real
do
quick.
it one more time.
No problem. So again, where it shows up on the zip form side. So I'm in zip forms and I'm writing a new offer. So I click on the new button and I'm writing an offer. So it's a purchase. So I'm clicking on that and I'm going to put in the property 123 Main Street and the name of my buyer. And then it's a residential purchase. And I want to pull the information in from MLS Connect. It's this link right here, this hyperlink. So if I click on that, that's going to bring it in, and this will not show up for you unless you have put that NRDS number into MLS listings.
Okay.
And then it's going to ask you for the MLID. Okay. And so again, that MLID, let me get out of all of this and go back to what that looks like. Let's just go to Matrix. And here, I'll just grab a listing that I have right now. This is a listing I have in Santa Cruz. That's the MLID right there. So you have to type the letters ML plus the 8-digit number. That's your MLID. And you have to put the ML in. It won't show up otherwise. And it has to be, I think, a capital ML too. Okay. Not lowercase. Okay. Did I do that too fast?
No, you're good.
Okay. You sure?
No.
All right. Anything else, you guys?
Thank you.
You're welcome. You guys keep practicing. Okay.
Thank you.
Everybody have a great rest of your day and a great weekend. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
being
You
with me
too.
today.
Thank
Bye.
you, Laura.
Bye.
Right on. Thank you.